Welcome back to Freedom Algo. Today is a wildly volatile day. We had some news that kind of dumped it down in the market, and then we had some more news that dumped down in the market. So kind of a crazy looking day when you look at it overall. Usually I don't show the daily chart, but I'm going to show this real quick. We do have this uptrend channel that I had drawn a while ago that starts all the way back October 2023. And I've been waiting to see if we were going to come down to it, and it actually looks like we might get a perfect close on it, and then we might bounce from there. It could be the case that it wicks lower, comes up. Well, it depends on how this all closes, but we might have a really nice up channel that's still in play, and this is just the low side of it. So there could be a rally coming soon. And so let's get into it. So today, what you would have looked at, you wouldn't have traded right before the news anyway. You would have waited for this news event, which was pre-market. And then really the first trade I saw is over here. So we were kind of coming up. We didn't have this up channel yet, but we were just looking a little sideways, and we were kind of looking like a range early. I had this blue line here, and you can see that we had this up channel. We get a close outside, and this is actually a second entry short with a nice bearish bar. Not perfect, but decent little trade, decent little setup. And then following that, it ends up making a second leg up, reverses, and then you get one of these, which is actually from this high here, you actually have a first entry that comes all the way up, pullback, second entry long. Decent little trade as well, goes above the EMA. It's like a higher low. This is a kind of a close outside of this channel anyway, so I don't think you're expecting a new low there, and it does confirm this up channel is in play. So I like that one. It then breaks out the bottom of that, and you get this move here, which is you have this low, and you have a first entry, second entry short with a really bearish bar looking for a new low there. So I do like that one. Following that, there's a down channel. There's a move here where you were kind of thinking that this might be a failed breakout from the lows. So if you took that long, it's risky, but it did work. And then you get another one here, and it's kind of looking like a triple test failed breakout at that point if you look at these lows. But again, it's risky. It is this could be that this channel was a little wider and this was the new low. So either one of those does work, but I think they are risky. And then the better trade for me is here, because at this point, I was starting to think that we have a bearish channel in play. It was very, very bearish. And you actually get a first entry, second entry short on an engulfing bar. That's a really nice one. What I would do here is, you could put your stop loss one tick below that, and then it just fills you right after this, and you get a nice little short there. Then it goes lower. At this point, I like this one. This is from this low. There's just another first entry, second entry short off of the EMA. So that's a decent one. That's a pretty low risk. 11 ticks for a day like today. That's fine. There's a failed second entry short here that to the long side. Decent trade after this because at this point you're so far away from everything. Then you get this channel. There's not really any good setups in there, unfortunately. A lot of first entries. There's a few that are arguable that I'm just not going to mark because they're just too risky and I don't want to teach the wrong stuff there, so I'm going to stay out of it. There's a few that you could argue might have been green, but this one here, you get a new high, and you get a first entry, second entry long with a pretty bullish bar and a close outside of the channel and a new low all at once. It works, but it's not perfect. It's been pretty bearish, and that was a pretty serious move. And it ends up being a little bit of a wider channel. And that channel definitely gets a confirmation over here. So you get a first entry, second entry short off the EMA. Pretty much at this point, I had the channel a little tighter at first, and it was confirming the channel. So that's a nice one. Down here, eventually you come all the way down, and you actually get a first entry, second entry short here with this equal high, which you could treat like a lower high on a second entry short. It's also a visual second entry short, so that one's pretty reasonable. But you are going short into the EMA. It is looking like it might reverse, and you did have this bullish close, so it's hard to know for sure. The downtrend has played out, so you're definitely taking some risk there. But there could be a wider down channel in play, and overall the day was bearish, so I think it's reasonable. I stayed out of all this stuff. It just looked too questionable, so I don't really see any good setups in there. Up here, there's an up channel working, and eventually there are some unfortunately, you just don't get very good signal bars. There's a debatable one here that I'll mark that's a hidden second entry long. If you don't know what that is, then just ignore that trade, but it's there if you saw it the right way. Here, there's a first entry, second entry long on a higher low. That's a pretty good one. There's also this one, which is this. You could treat this like a double top, and then this is like a first entry, second entry long after the trend breaks, and you're expecting a new high. So that's a good one, and you get the new high. It gives another leg up, but no trade setup there. Reverses, no trade setup there either. Breaks down, and there is a second entry short. I took this second entry short, but I will tell you that it was definitely risky because it was getting sideways here. And I drew this little range here just to illustrate that it was a kind of a risky trade because it was starting to look sideways. But from here, there's a first entry, pullback, second entry short that I got into. I almost got stopped, but then it gave a lower high, which would have been a better setup. The lower high actually gives you a micro triple test. So that's a pretty decent little setup if you took that lower high. And anyway, it is a second entry short. It does work, but you had to be patient, and it was a little risky. Now, following that, there's a first entry, second entry short here from this low. It's also a close outside, and we're looking for a new low on that down channel. So that's a decent one. Then over here, this is just a down channel and a failed breakout at the bottom of the range. And it's a close outside and a new low all at once on a really bullish bar. So you could take that one. This is also a close outside and a new high all at once on a bearish bar. Failed breakout of the range. You could take that one. And then there's a second entry there, but you can't take it. Down here, there's a first entry, second entry short. It's questionable. You would have gotten a 4-tick scalp there, but it's sketchy because it's sideways. So originally I only drew this one because I was talking to my community, my mentorship group. I was telling them about this trade. So this isn't really a trade that you would usually take, and I explained that when I was on the call with everybody. But it's there, it's there. And it's not the worst setup, but it's also like not the best. All right, so then over here, this is like a visual second entry short. It's still within this up channel, but you are expecting a new low. So I think that one is pretty reasonable. It's only 10 ticks. It does make the new low here. And that's basically it. I don't see anything else over here, really. Let's see. There's a first entry. There is a second entry short there, but I don't think you can take that. Yeah, so that's basically it. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Next week, I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be on the East Coast for a wedding, and I'll be not back until the following Monday, late in the day. So there will be some missing chart lessons on some of the dailies, but I'll still be in touch with everybody in my mentorship community. And so don't worry, I'll still be keeping all you guys updated and doing our calls, but I won't be doing as the public YouTube videos on the same schedule for about, call it 6 trading days or so. And then I'll be right back to normal after that. So I will see you all soon.